When I go, don't you cry for me. In my Father's arms I'll be. Anyway, enough of that. This week, on episode 9 of my vinyl and music collection, we're going to be delving into the world of Americana. And the biggest influence, I think, and the big granddaddy of Americana, who's been cited by so many artists, and that will be Willie Nelson. You'll often see Willie Nelson a special guest with these new artists at their gigs, and without doubt he is the influence. This album is called Willie Nelson, Georgia on My Mind, and it's a record of covers and originals, and real famous covers on here as well. So kicks off with the first one called Georgia on My Mind, and Willie Nelson puts his own stamp onto this one. You know, it's undoubtedly Willie Nelson, and it's a great song and a really famous song. Willie Nelson was a great ballad singer, and second track is called Tenderly, and this is a marvelous song, really heart-wrenching song. Third track is called All of Me, which again is a lovely song. Fourth track, A Penny for Your Thoughts. Now the first 4 tracks are not written by Willie Nelson, and he's covered them brilliantly. The 5th song is Willie Nelson, and it's one of his famous ones and one of my favourite ones as well. Funny How Time Slips Away. And he's done a bit of a medley with this one, so it's Funny How Time Slips Away, Crazy, which he wrote many years back, and one of the most loveliest female singers sang this one and covered it, and that was the legendary Patsy Cline. And even though Willie Nelson does it, we always think of Patsy Cline. We think of that one. And the last song in that medley is called Nightlife, which is a great song again. The 6th song is another famous song. It's not a Willie Nelson song. It's called On the Sunny Side of the Street, which again, it's a great song. And they're all kind of bordering on Americana, bluegrassy. Side 2 is Johnny Cash's favourite song by a singer called Chris Christopherson, and that's called Sunday Morning Coming Down. That is great. You need to check that one out with the Highwaymen. It's a great song. Track 2, Till Again, Control Again, Why Me. 4th number, Unchained Melody. Have a listen to that one. It's done differently. It's not done that kind of croony way. It really is a Willie Nelson style song. 5th track, I think you might have all have heard, You Are My Sunshine, and that's a great Americana, bluegrassy type song again. And the 6th song is called My Heroes Have Always Been Cowboys, and that's always in Willie Nelson's set list, that is. It's a great song. You hear a lot of people singing that one. Anyway, my first album, Willie Nelson, Georgia on My Mind. We're going to go a little bit modern now, and we're going to a young lady called Molly Tuttle. Now this album is the 2nd album after a Grammy Award winning album which she had released about a year before. Now I discovered Molly Tuttle by a friend of mine saying, you really need to check this young lady out. And she was doing like a bluegrass gig with a really famous, new famous guy called Billy Strings. And I was just taken aback. I was just amazed by these 2 youngsters plowing away with their bluegrass. And I thought, I'm going to have to listen to a little bit more of this. And So I put a few more YouTubes on. Really, really, really adored Molly Tuttle and Billy Strings. But anyway, I bought my first Molly Tuttle album, and it's this one, and it's called Molly Tuttle and the Golden Highway. It's not a gatefold, but it's got a nice little inner to it, and it's got some nice portraits of Molly Tuttle. And inside we've got all the lyrics, which is brilliant. So if you're ever going to jam along to it, you can jam along to the lyric sheet. Some of the songs on here would be El Dorado, Where Girls All the Time Go Wild, San Quentin, Yosemite, and this one is featuring Dave Matthews, and Dave Matthews has been about many years, and I think a few of you might have heard of Dave Matthews. Next Rodeo, When My Race Is Run. Now this is unashamedly bluegrass, or the new genre as they're calling it, newgrass. Side B, Alice in Bluegrass, Stranger Things, Down Home Dispensary, More Like a River, Goodbye Mary, Evergreen OK, The First Time I Fell in Love. I've listened to this album constantly now for the last 3 weeks, and it really is, there is not a dud on this album. Really, really great album. A great new face on the Americana bluegrass scene, Molly Tuttle. Check her out, and check her out with Billy Strings as well. Great album, and a great inner sleeve to it as well, with some lovely portraits. We're going to stay with the new generation of bluegrass players, and this one is by a band called The Dead South. Now the Dead South are from Canada, unashamedly bluegrass. Great band, as eclectic as they come. They've done a couple of tours in the UK. They've sold out their first early tours a year or two back. I missed them. I'm devastated. They're doing another UK tour this year, and again apparently that's sold out. To get on to Jules Holland's Hootenanny show on New Year's Eve in Great Britain, that's an amazing feat, and for a little old Canadian bluegrass band, they were on there, and they did themselves really proud. This album is called Easy Listening for Jerks, Part 1, 6 Bluegrass Classics from the Dead South. And when you do get to watch them on YouTube, or whatever your station is, you'll see quite an eclectic bunch. You've got the bass player who plays a cello, brilliant mandolin player by her. His vocals are out of this world, really, and he's a funny guy as well. And there's the banjo player, absolutely brilliant, an absolutely tight bluegrass band, or new bluegrass band. And some of the tracks in here are called Keep on the Sunny Side, which Willie Nelson did, which we spoke earlier. Pallet on the Floor, Will the Circle Be Unbroken, Flint Hill Special, You Are My Sunshine, and Matterhorn. Now this is a 10-inch album, and it's part 1, so I can't wait for part 2 to come out. A great inner, and we've actually got the writers of the song, so Keep My Palette on the Floor, Ada Blackhorn, Will the Circle Be Unbroken again, Ada Hobson, Charles Gabriel, Flint Hill Special, that's Earl Scruggs, You Are My Sunshine, Jimmy Davis, and Matterhorn, Mel Tillis. A great band. And that's the inner to it. I would definitely recommend have a listen to The Dead South. That's my 3rd album. Let's go back to the late 60s and early 70s, and I think these are everyone's favourite. Creedance, Clearwater Revival, country rock. The album's called Green River, and there's no matter where you go, you can hear a Creedance song somewhere, and you'd be surprised some of the songs which are theirs. Like Tina Turner made Proud Mary a song of hers, but it's a Creedance song. And this album has got some great songs on it again. Green River, which is a classic. Commotion, Tombstone Shadow, Wrote a Song for Everyone. The most famous song I think on this album is side 2, Bad Moon Rising. Second song, Look, Cross the Walker, Sinister Purpose, The Nighttime is the Right Time. Brilliant album. This was released in 1969, and they were absolutely amazing. And John Fogerty wrote most of the songs. He was like the arranger. He was like the beating heart of Creedance Clearwater Revival. Definitely recommend you have a listen to CCR somewhere. I do, and there's a couple of their songs in my song set which I go out gigging with, and that's Green River, Creedance Clearwater Revival. Okay, we're going to go back to a little bit of Americana, and this lady is called Brun, and she's from Norway. I think, Americana, Norway. But she wrote that she sang that fantastic Emmylou Harris song, All My Tears, that little song I started off with. And this song, All My Tears, has been in a couple of series. One is Peaky Blinders, and the other one was Hell's Wheels. And that's where I first discovered Brun. Now, there's a lot of contemporary covers on this album. I love the way Anne Brun sings these songs. I love the way she plays the guitar, and it's a great album. It's got a great inner to it, and we've got a list of the songs which she's singing in here. And you'll probably know a lot of these as contemporary songs. I Want to Know What Love Is, if I'm not mistaken, that was Journey, written by Mick Jones. Always on My Mind, that's the one Elvis song. Unchained Melody, which we had a little chat about earlier, and that was with Willie Nelson. Hero, Show Me Heaven. I do like that song. Maria McKee, and I remember doing that on a TV program in the UK many years back with the Jayhawks. One of my favourite singers, and we will be discussing him further down the line, and that's Nick Cave, and she's doing his fantastic ballad, Into My Arms, and I absolutely love that song. B-side, Stay, which is a lovely song again. How to Disappear Completely, By Your Side, Girl from the North Country, so we're going back into the Bob Dylan realms of things by her. No Reason to Cry, which was Tom Petty. Right in Time, which was an Americana singer called Lucinda Williams. Make You Feel My Love, back to Bob Dylan. He kind of crops up everywhere, doesn't he? And I don't blame artists for singing his songs. They were world class. And the final track is Big Yellow Taxi by Joni Mitchell. I implore you to check Anne Brun out. There's a YouTube concert of hers. She's Norwegian, but she is Americana as well. She's a great singer, and she's one of my favourites. You've got to have a bit of cash in your life. And again, Johnny Cash is undoubtedly Americana. He crosses them all. Blues, country, bluegrass. He's there. You know, he married one of the ladies of bluegrass, June Carter from the Carter family. This is a new compilation album, and it's called The Legend of Johnny Cash. Again, it's a lovely gatefold. It's got a lovely write-up on it. And I love a gatefold, as you know. You can read it like a book, can't you? You can sit there with a cup of coffee or scotch, whatever, and you just kind of peruse it and just have a little read of it, you know. And this is a brilliant new compilation. I actually go out and I do many Johnny Cash songs in my set. So on this, The Legends of Johnny Cash, we're going into his old classic songs, but they've brought in a few of his new songs, which he'd covered just before his demise. So side A will be Ring of Fire, which was written by June Carter. Second, classic again, I Walk the Line. Third track, Jackson, that's brilliant when he does a duo with his wife June Carter on that one. Everyone's all-time favourite, Folsom Prison Blues, and we all have different ways of playing it. It's always in my set. A Boy Named Sue, all-time classic, Johnny Cash. Big River, that's another one which you will hear a lot out on the gig scene. Side B, Get Rhythm, and Johnny Cash certainly had rhythm, didn't he? One of my favourites again, Cry, Cry, Cry. That's one I put in my set again. Another all-time favourite of mine, and you don't hear much of it, and it's called Hey Porter, and I do love that song. A Thing Called Love, Guess Things Happen That Way, great song, love that one. He's got San Quentin live on here. That's quite a raucous song. I think he got the prison warders quite annoyed with that one. Man in Black. So that ends side B. I thought to tell you it's a double album. So the second album is side C, and it's Highwayman. And I've always said, you know, I think I've got another 50 years in life left yet. But if they had to put any song on for me during my demise, and that would be the song The Highwayman. It's about reincarnation, and it's brilliant. Each verse is just brilliant. Check it out. The second song is The Wanderer, which we all know was a bit of a rock and roll song. Another one is called I've Been Everywhere. That was a 60s song. That was great. Rusty Cage. That is an absolutely amazing song. The last side, and it starts off with a real favourite of mine, because as a youngster I was into a band called Depeche Mode. They were a British band into electronic music. But Johnny Cash covered their song Personal Jesus, and in fact I've been asked to do a duo next week at a gig with this one, so I will be. Second track, Give My Love to Rose. That's another great one. He covers a U2 song on here as well, one, and I do like a bit of U2. The last track on here is that really sad song that if you see the video, they had to warn his children before the video came out, you know, to tell him what to accept. The song's called Hurt, and it was written by a heavy metal band called 9 Inch Nails, and I liked the 9 Inch Nails version, wasn't over enamoured by it. Then I heard Johnny Cash do it, and I watched that video of him with that glass of red wine and he poured it over the table. It's like he knew. It's like he knew it was coming. But anyway, you've got to have a bit of Johnny Cash in your life. And that is a compilation album of just not of his old classics, but some of the new things he was doing just at the end. And it had been produced by Rick Rubin, the wonderful producer who's produced quite a few of the old fellas, as I say, you know, like Glenn Campbell, Neil Diamond. Anyway, that's called The Legend of Johnny Cash. Give it a go. Another new band which I discovered a couple of years back, the White Buffalo. And the White Buffalo is led by this enigmatic singer and guitar player by the name of Jake Smith. And I've got three of the albums. I think that's all the three which they've released. And he's a wonderful singer. He's a wonderful songwriter. And once again, when you hear his ballads, they really are, they pull on your heartstrings, absolutely, without doubt. He's got a great baritone vocal, and I would definitely check out the White Buffalo. I've got 3 of their albums. They do an amazing version of The House of the Rising Sun. So, again, this is a gate sleeve. What a brilliant centerfold, isn't it? It's brilliant. It's a little write-up there, and it's signed by Jake Smith. There's Jake Smith there. And these are a new band, purely Americana. And the songs on here, Shall We Go On, The Getaway, third song, When I'm Gone, that really is a heart-wrenching song. I love that one. Joey White, 30 Days Back, The Whistler, great song. Set My Body Free, that's another great song. Redemption. All these songs which Jake Smith writes they are about life, they're about him. They're about, it is about happiness as such, but it's kind of his happiness with the love of his wife and his children. Next track is called This Year, Fire Don't Know, Joe and Jolene, Don't You Want It, Sharp 13, and Pray to You. The White Buffalo, can't say too much more about them. Check them out, check some of the vids out, and I really do love them. And their albums, his songwriting is brilliant, it's eclectic, it's atmospheric, and one of my favourite new Americana bands, the White Buffalo. An Americana band I got into many years back, and that's called the Civil Wars. And I first discovered these, nearly 20 years back, I suppose. They did 2 albums. This one's called Barton Hollow, and once again, Jules Holland brought these over from the States, and he put them on his show. It's called Later, which is like it's a brilliant show. It's been going for 30 odd years, and they've discovered so many great bands on there. But the Civil Wars, they are a great band. They are an absolute great band. We've got John Paul White and we've got Joy Williams, and they are absolutely out of this world. They're great singers. He's a great guitar player. Sultry, romantic, heart pulling at the heartstrings. And the first track in here is called 20 Years. Now, I've done 20 years. I've sung it live at blues festivals. I've YouTubed it. I've sung it at gigs. It's, I'd implore you to have a listen to that song. The lyrics are just absolutely amazing. And if they don't get you, nothing will. The tracks on here will be 20 Years. I would say that is my favourite track on here. I've Got This Friend, another slow burner. C'est la mort, that's about say goodbye to death. To Whom It May Concern, Poison and Wine, that's a lot of people's favourite song, one is. My Father's Father, another lovely, lovely song. Barton Hollow, now that's really bluesy, you know, that's Americana, but with a big hit of blues. And he's got his D-ting tune in, and there's a bit of slide guitar going on there. It's just proving his guitar technique. The Violet Hour, great song. The Girl with a Red Balloon, Falling, Forget Me Not, and Birds of a Feather. The Civil Wars covered Michael Jackson song called Billie Jean, and that's brilliant as well. We'll be coming back to a little bit more of the Civil Wars later on, as with Grant Lee, the White Buffalo. Grant Lee Buffalo are a band which I like to, but I haven't got any of their albums. I've got their CDs. But anyway, the Civil Wars. Give these a look. Give them a listen. They split up after only 2 albums, which is a great shame. Great shame. I've got his solo album, John Paul White's, and that is really, really great. And we'll be talking about that soon. Anyway, the Civil Wars, Barton Hollow. One of my favourite Canadians, sorry about that. One of my favourite Canadians, Gordon Lightfoot. The king of the 12 string, I call him. And he crossed folk, he crossed country, rock even, you know. The guy was a marvellous songwriter. Peter, Paul and Mary took a couple of his songs into the charts. And I love him. I've actually got a couple of his albums, but this is one of my favourites, and this is called Sundown, after his famous song called Sundown. And some of the tracks in here are called High and Dry, Too Late for Praying, 7 Island Suite, Carefree Highway, Sundown, which is my favourite in this one, The List, Is There Anyone Home, The Watchman's Gone, Somewhere in the USA, and Circle of Steel. I would definitely, if you haven't delved into anything of Gordon Lightfoot, delve into this guy. Marvellous Canadian singer-songwriter, covers a lot of genres, folk, country, and even a bit of rock. And we've lost him recently, but at the grand old age, I think he was 86 or 87 years of age, and he was still performing. Gordon Lightfoot, and we'll be coming back to Gordon Lightfoot further on into this series. Check him out, it's brilliant. And everyone's favourite in the country world, Kenny Rogers. People say he's Marmite. Well, I love him. He brought country into the real world. He opened up country for us all, didn't he? And brilliant songwriter, great singer, great ballad singer. Did some wonderful music with Dolly Parton as well. And this album's called The Kenny Rogers Story. Can't say too much about our Kenny Rogers. Again, we lost him recently, and we did talk about one of the albums in the country episode I done. But I'm going to bring him back in on this one in our Americana Country and Bluegrass edition. And the tracks in here will be Lucille, that is the world-renowned song. Lady, which is that lovely ballad. The long arm of the law. You decorated my life. Sweet music, man. Ruby, don't take your love to town. That's about a Vietnamese veteran who comes home and he's lost his leg and he's not in a good place, but his wife Ruby wants a bit of fun in town. Go through the years. You are so beautiful. Don't fall in love with a dreamer. Side 2, I think a lot of people are remembering for this song. It was a TV series he was in as well, and that was called The Gambler. Daytime Friends. We've Got Tonight. Your Love Lifted Me. Another favourite as well by everyone, Coward of the County. Reuben James. Desperado. That would have been the Eagles. She Believes in Me. Again, that's that lovely, lovely, lovely ballad. Something's Burning and Blaze of Glory. Seriously, do not knock Kenny Rogers. He's done some fantastic songs. He's done the Glastonbury stage. Don't forget, he's done the Legend stage. So that to me, that gives him credibility. Anyway, guys, I'm going to see you next week for episode 10. So take care, everyone, and get playing some vinyl.